Oh boy. So everybody, it is Pack, and we are back. Now you're going to be seeing a lot of failed attempts at me trying to do infinite UBB. And yeah, that was attempt number 1 right there. I sped a lot of these up by 8 times and 4 times, pretty much to get it all done faster so that you don't have to sit here and stare at me like I'm, fucking stupid or something. But, surprisingly, I fucked up a lot. But, oh Raynare, you fucking crazy motherfucker. Again, pretty much the entirety of the Raynare method was started up by this, and that was stupid. Okay, so pretty much Raynare created this method, and I wanted to shout him out for this. Obviously, I don't really have enough room to say I'm shouting Raynare out because Raynare reigns is pretty OP, and what I've heard is that there are other methods, and right here is the part where I fuck up the auto battle, because I thought I could just I could just like continuously change my settings in the middle of a fight, but apparently they patched it so that you cannot change your settings within a strategy zone. I'm not entirely sure if that's how that all went down, but right there, as you can tell, it just got tiresome, so I decided to say, fuck it. Now, obviously, you can do this with or without revives. I just brought them just in case it fucked up, and right here, you can see me going through a lot of my details, but I go through them more in depth in the next half of this video. But pretty much, the big idea here is you want to have Lofia and Galtier with pretty much no spheres on them, but I put 2 other spheres. I think it's Platinum Bangle and Rituous on my Lofia, which pretty much gave her 0 BC, and 0 BC also with more OD fill rate, because that's what you want to focus on, is overdrive fill rate. And I have Johnny's Coin and Forbidden Apple on Allanon because you really want your overdrive filled. Now right here, I don't know what happened, but we stopped getting overdrive at 40%. I don't know what could have caused it, but in the next method you'll be seeing right now, obviously I am running double Ezra lead for 0 BC cost. I'm running also my Natalame, who now has it's like hugely, it's the last SP option for the special mission stuff. Well, not for the special mission, but for the special stuff. Pretty much she has like this massive overdrive boost or fill rate boost on her UBB for 3 turns, and I wanted to get that just in case if I fucked it up and had to go back and rely on like a 3rd wheel, just in case if I want to have a backdoor just in case if I fucked up the first attempt. Now also, I do apologize if you're hearing my fan in the background. I am starting to grow plants and stuff. I have like a thing of peppers that isn't growing at all. I'm trying to give it air, but it's not working. I have it at a window, well watered and stuff, but maybe it's just that we need to crank up the heat like a lot. Now obviously I'm running Allanon because Allanon's the main star of the show. I think I go with my skills here or not, but pretty much I was running the skills on Ezra pretty much to give her a bunch of overdrive fill boost and fill rate stuff. I gave her the 70 SP cost option and awkward pauses right here, because whenever the game loads a new zone, it has to like take time to actually do the thing. Also, I completely fucked it up the first time, so I might just cut this entire segment out real fast because I fucked up a lot of the stuff. I'll speed it up so you guys can see it, but I'll be right back. Okay, there we go. So now pretty much what you're staring at is, yeah, again, very brief cut. So what you're staring at here is me doing the setup. Now, obviously, I was a moron and forgot that the mission isn't in the regular missions tab. It isn't in any other thing. You actually need to accept it within the Imperial Capital Randall records station. You go to the special records, and it is the very last record there. If you've not done it already, it should just you should just tap on it. It should say start at the bottom. You click on that good old start button and you're on that mission. One bad thing though about the special missions is that you're limited to one one per event cycle. So that means you have to complete one before you do another. So, like, you can't have one and then another one active at the same time. You have to do one special mission, then the next special mission. So right there, as I was, kind of, cheering to myself about how I finally fucking did it again, beating Ezra, and then I was like, oh great, time for me to go check the record hall. Because usually it would tell me which one it is, and I was like, okay, maybe it's in, like, missions or special. So I wanted to check the missions tab, but I was like, I don't think it is in the missions tab, because I was checking with everybody on the Discord, and I was like, oh shit, is it on here? Then I looked down, and I'm like, ah, fuck, it's right there. So I have to redo the entire strategy zone. So I was like, you know what? Raynare's method works. It's viable. Raynare's method with running Lofia, Ravea, Natalame, Allanon, and Ezra, and double Ezra lead really works. Now, obviously, as you saw right there, I did not have my own Galtier or a Ravea with those specific BB lowering spheres. And the spheres I ran on the whole team, I will get through either in this segment or in another segment. If not in this segment, I'll go over them very briefly while the rest of the video carries on. So I actually have to go back on my account here and see everything because I forgot. I already forgot myself. So on Ezra, I'm running a Euphoric Illusion and Golden Heart. Euphoric Illusion for OD fill rate and Golden Heart for BB reduction. Also, same thing for Euphoric Illusion. And then for her SP options, I'm running enormously reduces BB gauge required for BB, and then adds slightly boost OD gauge per ally in squad to the SBB. Now that is a total of 12, 24 if you double cast it, which is really good. Then for Ravea, I'm running Imperial Savior and Kagura Suzu. Pretty much both for the reduction in BB cost and boosts to parameters. The stuff I'm running for her is parameter boosts, critical damage boost, elemental damage boost, add BB gauge to max effect to SBB, and then enhances the SBB's proc chance, which is fucking godly. And Lofia, I'm running Platinum Bangle and Rituous Staff, mainly for OD gauge fill rate and BB reduction. I'm running parameter boosts, enormously boost elemental damage, probability of activating a extra action to the SBB, and then doubling that to 2, which is pretty much the 50 cost. So instead of having like a 1-turn thing, you have like a 2-turn thing, I think. Next, for Natalame, I was running Dyed Masterpiece and Sin of Rebellion because it didn't have Harbinger's Thirst. So I was like, well, what other spheres do I have that can boost OD fill rate? So I decided to go with Dyed Masterpiece before the event ended. Also, Sin of Rebellion is great for the attack boost. Next up, I gave her parameter boosts. The first one, the attack max HP by 30%. Then adds BB gauge to max to SBB. And then I added the proc chances and then the massive OD fill rate boost at turn's end, I think. Whatever it is. To the, not the SBB, but the UBB. And again, I'm running Forbidden Apple and Johnny's Coin on Allanon. I'm also having the parameter boosts, the reduced BB gauge, and then the resistance to 1-hit KO attacks, and then great HP restoration. And that is all my units. Now, for my Galtier, when I was about to run him and see if I could get like another Ravea, I had Lunar Orb and Platinum Sword. Basically, you don't need anything for Lofia and Galtier. I just brought them just in case. My Azurai was also there just in case if I got like really clutch and had like some opportunity to kill, then that's what I ran on. So what did I do? I went this method. Here's the best method. Right off the bat, you want to get UBB. So use a Hero Crystal. UBB Natalame, BB Ravea. Immediately after, wait for Ravea to get her thing back. Do not use Ravea at that point. Then you SBB with Ezra, BB with Lofia, and then SBB with Galtier. Then you want to wait for the UBB gauge to be somewhat full, like it's barely full, you use Allanon's SBB, and as soon as the overdrive is full, overdrive Ravea and cast overdrive. Because right then and there, Ravea will be able to double proc Allanon, which gives him the opportunity to use his UBB or attack. Now, don't use Allanon yet. You want to keep using SBB on Ravea until the overdrive is full. Then you activate your auto battle wherever Allanon is. Like for me, bottom corner, you want to put 1, and then you want to put UBB, because if you do not put UBB on the auto battle before the fighting begins, you are locked into regular battling. So that is what I recommend, and that is what Raynare's method pretty much detailed. Now, obviously, I don't have all the battle effects like the thing is popping up on the side of the screen, but I do think my explanation does help. Also, right there, as you can tell, I didn't need to use any Fujin tonics. I actually just used 2 Fujin potions. So that's an easy way to save yourself a bunch of materials. Is just run Rituous and what is that? Rituous and is it? Fuck, I forgot what it is. Platinum Bangle. Platinum Bangle. Basically, you want to run those 2 on your Lofia if you want to pretty much have like 0 BB cost for her. And again, this takes a long while to do because you have to beat her down from like 80-something%. I have not tested a method, or have not tested a quote viable method with a light crystal, like one of those little light ore things. If I do test it with a light ore, well, I actually might test it with light ore, but here's one thing. You make sure you just have at least 2 crescent dews. Just have 2 crescent dew. Place the revive with a light ore or a light or a shine stone, whatever the fuck the attack and defense of a light type thing is. So that's just something I highly recommend doing. Also, one thing I would also definitely recommend is making sure you do have 0 BC cost for all your units, because I don't know about you guys, but I don't have honor claws to spare. I don't have all these materials, these honor materials to spare, because everybody's leaving Brave Frontier to go to Brave Frontier 2 and go to other games like SAO Integral Factor, Soda Online Memory Defrag, Brave Exvius, Alchemist Code, Japan Phantom of the Kill, because Global is pretty much crashing down. Now, I do know they released Chapter 6. I will get onto Chapter 6 later, but it's just now at such a point where the game's beyond redemption that I don't think I want to go back and just like fuck everything up. So I'm going to be testing a method with the light ore. Pretty much this next part is going to be me explaining the light ore method, because it's pretty much the same thing, but you want to just use light ore at the beginning. And I think Allanon should do slightly more damage. I mean, you could probably get away with not having Crescent Dews and putting Brutal Elixirs in and running that as well. Now, I don't have enough materials, again, for Brutal Elixirs. I don't have Honor Drops or Honor Fangs or Honor Claws or whatever the fuck they need. So that's just what I have to say about this whole method. It is very viable. It works. As you can tell, it says accepted 1 of 1, which means you can only take 1 of those at a time. Scroll all the way down, and that's how you'll see it's complete. Now, Ezra Alt Art, again, disappointing, in my opinion. I really would have liked it if they had Ortis available that way. If they had Ortis that way, that'd be nice. But they don't. I mean, it's kind of underwhelming. But with that being said, guys, that is all. That is the Raynare method of completing this. I hope I kind of put it into simple terms and not like, you know, crazy terms. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, again, remember everything I said. I'll probably put a tag at the end of the video or some brief guide at the end there. Yeah, and that's what I was running on my Lofia. I wanted to show you that because, you know, just in case. And see you on the next one, guys. Peace out. Okay, everybody. So I'm going to also tack this in at the end here, but the method I mentioned earlier where you can have a light ore or a brutal elixir, I've tested just light ore, that works, obviously. Just brutal elixir, that works, obviously. And then both brutal elixir and light ore. The only thing is, though, is that there's really no damage difference. So again, it's only there if you want to use those materials to make like your brutal elixirs and your light ores, but I don't recommend doing that because there was no dramatic difference, because even then I actually counted. Allanon only dropped Ezra's health 1% more in the beginning of the fight. But then towards the end of the fight, I only saw the average like we saw before, only dropping about roughly 2% to 1 to 2% at least. Sometimes 3 if the power, you know, kind of like, or if we had like a crit or like a spark, it would like kind of peak at like, you know, 2 to 3. But just regular, it was just like, you know, it didn't really change. So again, we do have a Patreon. It'll be in the description down below because YouTube completely fucked up all the annotations. So yeah, you know, that is all for now, guys. I'll see you back in another video. Again, please, I do recommend donating to the Patreon if you haven't done so already. So yeah, see you on the next one, guys. Peace out.